Hi everyone, this is Esther Camacho with the McAllen Public Library. Welcome to another Frontier Roots episode of This Week in History. Let's start off with a very interesting article from the Brownsville Herald dated Monday, May 16, 1898. Land for sale. I have for sale a tract of land containing 14,000 more or less acres with a frontage of 2,800 varas on the Rio Grande and running back 18 miles, it being the upper part of the tract of land known as Llano Grande and La Blanca. The first deed is recorded in Book A in Hidalgo County. I will sell the above described land for cash at 60 cents per acre. Signed, John McAllen. As you well know, John McAllen was a prominent and well-known rancher, and he places this advertisement in the newspaper. When he talks about the frontage of 2,800 varas, that's nearly a mile and a half along the Rio Grande River. This large piece of land is total around 20, he says 18 miles back, but it's around 21 square miles. And so when you're trying to price this 14,000 more or less acres, you're looking at a total price of $8,400. If you look at this map of Hidalgo County of 1911, of course it lists all the different porciones there. The land that he's talking about is approximately around this location, right in here. So you've got that part against the river and then going up. So that is a lot of land. Still in that same newspaper, but a couple of pages down in page 3, we have this photo of this woman. Her hair is up. She's wearing a very nice, elegant dress with sleeves that go to her elbow, and it is more like a bell sleeve. It just opens up. And for being 1898, it is kind of a low-cut dress. You'll notice that she's holding like a tiny little glass, and her pinky is sticking out. And she's drinking something very small in that container. So let's find out what she is up to here. So below that picture was what you see on the right. Knowledge brings comfort and improvement and tends to personal enjoyment when rightly used. The many who live better than others and enjoy life more with less expenditure by more promptly adapting the world's best products to the needs of physical being will attest the value to health of the pure liquid laxative principles embraced in the remedy syrup of figs. So this well-refined woman is drinking syrup of figs, a laxative. And it goes on to say it cleanses the system, dispelling colds, headaches, fever, and permanently curing constipation. Syrup of figs is for sale by all druggists in 50-cent and $1 bottles. It's manufactured by the California Fig Syrup Company. So please go by your druggist today and see if they have syrup of figs. Now, in this McAllen Daily Press article of May 16, 1924, this was on the front page. Queen Theater now showing. You have Rudolph Valentino and Carmel Myers. And it says, the greatest of all screen stars, the artist who made love and art on the screen in a pulsing, passionate society romance called a society sensation. If you look further down, you'll see other comedies that are out there, Monks a la Mode, Hard Knocks. And then it says the prices of admission all day, 10 and 25 cents. Wow, I wish those prices would come back. Now, in May 17, 1924, in the McAllen Daily Press, we have a city ordinance. An ordinance prohibited the peddling of any kind or character or any fruit and produce not grown by the person, corporation, firm, or association of persons offering for sale upon any street, alley, or other place within the corporate limits of the city of McAllen, Texas. So this ordinance, I'm just showing you section 1, that makes it unlawful for any person, corporation, or association of persons to peddle any patent medicines, jewelry, or merchandise of any kind or character upon any street, alley, or other place within the corporate city limits of the city of McAllen, Texas. Now, this was passed and approved by a unanimous vote by the City Commission at a regular meeting that was held on May 13, 1924, signed by the mayor, F.B. Freand, and the clerk, G.B. Sewell. I don't know if this ordinance is still in effect. Now, this sad, tragic article here, the killing of Henry Bishop, was in the Tri-Weekly Herald on Thursday, May 20th, 1880, page 2. Talks about Sunday morning at 2, this was at 2 a.m., 7 armed men awakened Mr. Henry Bishop at his store in El Sauz in Hidalgo County, representing they wished to purchase a lot of goods. He dressed himself, came downstairs, opened the front door. As he did so, one of the party struck him across the head with a large knife, splitting his skull. After they felled him to the floor, they stabbed him 11 times in the neck and side. The murderers proceeded to help themselves to the contents of the store, carrying off money and goods in the amount of several $100s. They also carried off all the books and papers. The thieves are unknown, but it's thought they came from across the river. After killing Bishop, they finished off their devilish work by outraging his servant girl. That means they raped her. Every effort is being made by the authorities on both sides to bring the guilty parties to justice. Then later on, there was a total of 6 men involved here, but I was able to find this article in 1883 that talked about the case of Antonio Lopez. His trial began yesterday on a change of venue from Hidalgo County for being one of the parties who murdered Henry Bishop, and afterward robbed his store and then assaulted his young wife and his Mexican servant girl. So it wasn't just the servant girl who was assaulted. His young wife was as well. He was convicted of murder of the first degree and punishment assessed at confinement in a penitentiary for life. One thing I like about looking at different articles, especially in the Brownsville Herald, they do have a section called Hidalgo Happenings. And in the Hidalgo Happenings, they just bring up things that are happening in Hidalgo County or in Hidalgo, Texas. So in this one in Hidalgo, Texas, late rains have done a great deal of good to growing crops all along the river, and a rich harvest can now be anticipated. So they had some good rain that was very beneficial for the farmers there. The steamboat Betsy, Captain Thorman, passed up the river several days ago with a fair cargo, returning yesterday with a fair load. She brought a lot of flour for this place. So as you can see on the picture on the left, that is actually the steamboat Betsy. I'm not sure what year it is, but she is docked there, actually right there in Hidalgo, Texas. Across the river, of course, is Mexico. And if you look at this picture closely, there are a lot of people on that first level standing there. And in the front of the boat, you'll see the men with the cart and the oxen or cattle that's going to the river. Normally they are the ones that are getting water from the river that they take into town. Now off to the left you can see that there has been some cargo placed there on the ground that was to be taken into town. Then going back to the article, you've got Abe Bollock, the well-known drummer, passed up a few days ago, since en route for Laredo and other points. I don't know who Abe Bollock is, but I'll have to research to find this drummer. W.J. Odell, now he was a postmaster there in Hidalgo, has gone to San Antonio on a business, pleasure, and health-seeking visit. His health has not been good for some time. Now, he has been ill, so he would go to San Antonio and different areas to improve his health. Now, lastly, wanted to bring up this article on Sunday, May 20th, 1934 in the Monitor. Little Hidalgo School sends out 3 graduates this year. Peter Alcala, who is one of my ancestors, Adolfo Longoria, and Irene Davila composed the graduating class of Hidalgo High School this year. The superintendent is G.B. Baker, and it does list some of the teachers that were there in Hidalgo. It does state that Hidalgo District is the oldest in the county. It occupies a narrow strip of territory stretching 18 miles along the river, and of course has the distinction of being the oldest school district in the county. The school plan consists of a brick building in the town of Hidalgo, housing the primary, elementary, and high school grades, and 3 rural schools. It goes on to say that the district has a scholastic population of 900 and an enrollment of more than 600. Now, when I look at this Austin Weekly Statement of 1886, Superintendent Baker received the report of a scholastic census of Hidalgo County, which is as follows. White males, 796. White females, 739. Colored males, 18. Colored females, 23. For a total of 1,535. Last year's report, white males, 708. White females, 637. Colored males 14, colored females 18, for a total of 1,377, showing an increase for the year of 158. This is Esther Camacho, so thank you for watching this episode of Frontier Roots, This Week in History. Don't forget to leave a comment below and to like us on Facebook at MPL Adults, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at McAllen Public Library. So see you next time on another episode of Frontier Roots.